Meme coins. There's so many strategies in order to make profits, and most of the time you're going to lose. But don't worry, we've got someone that's very knowledgeable that's going to help us with one particular strategy. Welcome, Wake. How are you?
Hey, I'm Wake, Wake GMI on Twitter, and I'm going to take you through my meme coin scalping strategy from finding it to betting it to finding the range and trading it. I'm going to take you through the deck screener UI because that's where I like to find my tokens at the moment. So as you can see on deck screener, you have this really nice UI that shows you current tokens. Now, the reason I use 6-hour trending display is because most people see that. That's the display that's default on deck screener. So I'm going to have a quick scroll through these tokens and see if there's any that catch my fancy. And I'm going to take you through why these are catching my fancy. So this is the GOAT of the memes at the moment. So I'm going to take a look. Now, from just initial impressions, we can see that Smoking Chicken Fish has broken the $100 million resistance that it was struggling to break over the last few days. So that's very hype. And we can see that it's had a steady incline and it's on a 2.48 pullback right now. So that means that we might find an opportunity here. So let's take a look. Now, just to make sure that this token is safe, we're going to do something that's called rug checking. Now, up here, you click on the token address, you click it once, you copy it, and then you go over to rugcheck.xyz. As we can see, it's looking good, but just because it says good here doesn't mean it's a safe trade. What you're looking for is locked liquidity. If the liquidity is not locked, the devs can pull the LP tokens and rug the token. That's what the saying rugged comes from. So we can see that there's some user provided liquidity here for about 100K, about 14K here. Now that's not locked, but that's nothing to worry about because that's users like you or me providing liquidity, and they don't want to lock their tokens because they want to sell them once they've reaped the rewards from those trading fees. But what we are looking for is the actual liquidity pool. It's usually the biggest and it's usually at the top. We can see that there's 2.1 mil approximately in the LP pool and 99% of it is locked. So that's pretty good, right? That means that the price is supported by $2.1 million in liquidity. Now, considering that the market cap is already 122 mil, I would hope that they'd have added more to liquidity. I don't know what the reason why that is. I would expect more liquidity here on such a big token. Now that we've given it a quick once over and a vet, let's take a look at how we can find an intraday scalping strategy trading range in this chart.
And I guess it's important to note that if it's locked liquidity, it is impossible to unlock. It's always there, and the devs just can't go and sell their tokens. It's always good to have lots of locked liquidity.
So if the tokens are locked, it means that the token holder, whoever it may be, the dev, a user, whoever, have sent these tokens to a burn address or a zero ownership address, meaning that there is no owner. So first off, we're going to change our chart to market cap. We trade on market cap in meme coins, or at least I do, because people cluster around certain market caps and a lot of volume happens around certain market caps. A lot of pullbacks happen around certain market caps. For example, I've seen many tokens reach $70 million and pull back 30%. The same can be said for round numbers, right? Other round numbers on the chart tend to be traded. We view by market cap and we go to the 5-minute to find our range. The reason we're on the 5-minute to find our range is because it gives us a more zoomed out image or picture of the story of the token. So we can find those support and resistance levels that we'll be trading today. So as we can see, we have 3 confirmation bounces right here. Yep. 3 confirmation bounces on this support level. It has to be 3. Any less than 3 is just a coincidence, right? Third time lucky. And here we can see that we have pretty convincingly hit resistance a few times around the 110, 105 million market cap range. So we found one range. Now, this is our wide range, but we could add one more range so we can DCA between ranges and reduce risk. So now we've got our ranges and we have the percentage move that we're looking to trade within. It's around 30, 40%. We're going to be buying and selling at these levels. For example, our first buy is at the first layer of support that we saw, and then our second buy is at the second. And we're looking to make 20 to 30% on these scalps. We're not looking for 2 or 3 or 5 exits. This is an intraday meme coin trading strategy. We're not moonboying this. We're looking for dependable, safe targets, right? So let's say we
More safe.
enter more safe. Yeah, nothing safe. It's the Wild West. Meme, especially meme, it's the wild, wild west. Yeah. So let's say we enter at like 68 mil. I would hope that we can take profits before we hit the upper support bands that we highlighted earlier on the 5 minute chart. Around 100 mil to let's say 89 mil. This is securing us a reasonable move, right? It's 39%. It's huge. We don't need to do that many times to make significant profits, and we're not risking a lot. So that's why I like the intraday meme coin trading strategy using support and resistance levels to DCA enter and sell on upper bands of resistance.
If someone doesn't want to watch the chart, they could go and set it with dupe.ag with a limit order. But then if you go back to Dex Screener, how do we find out the price that we need to put in?
If we're looking for the price we want to enter on a dupe limit order, instead of viewing the price by market cap, we would go to price up here. And this would give us a nice indication on the right hand side of the graph what price we're looking to buy at. I believe that our range was around.
So the support lines don't carry through to the other side, though.
Yeah, if you change certain view settings on Deck Screener, sometimes your lines disappear, which is really annoying. But I think you can improve that by logging into Deck Screener with a wallet, and it will save like watch list stuff and price alerts and all sorts of things. But let's redraw that lower support line. So our entry, hypothetically here, is 9 cent. So we would go to dupe and we would add a 9 cent limit order for smoking chicken fish, and when it hits, bing, you're in, and then you track your exit. Remember, we're trading within that 20-30% range. And when it hits around 10% or 15% before you hit your upper band of range, you exit and then you repeat. You're trading ranges. We're scalping ranges. We're not looking for 3, 4, 5Xs here. So our exit could be 10 cent, around 10 cent.
So this one has quite a bit of liquidity. It has a decent market cap. Do you have a general market cap level which you wouldn't trade under?
Actually, back in BNB on Binance Smart Chain, I preferred trading below 1 million because it was way more predictable. There was a pattern to it. Now on Solana, 25,000 tokens are being minted per day, and there's really no rhyme or reason to how these charts play out below 1 million. For example, Pump Fund tokens mint the LP tokens to Radium at 64 roughly K market cap, and they still go to zero instantly. So I tend to trade winners, right? We trade winners with deep liquidity because what liquidity does is it supports the price. So the higher the liquidity, the harder it is to move the price, but the harder it is to lose money on your position. If we're trading below $1 million, one large sell off could destroy or nuke your bags. So that's why we DCA on support levels. That's why we pick winners. And that's why we pick narrative. Smoking chicken fish is the narrative right now.
What is the minimum locked liquidity then? If locked liquidity is more important than market cap, what's the minimum you'll use?
I would say it's more about ratios between the market cap and the liquidity, right? So let's say we have a token, for example, Smoking Chicken Fish is 110 milli, but the LP is 1.9. Now, that seems very low. I mean, that's almost, 1 to 100 ratio here, but it has a narrative and it's a lot of money in the LP pool. Whereas if we had a smaller token with low liquidity, because there's less funds in the LP, the chart's going to move more aggressively. So it's all relative to the scale of the token that you're looking at. But typically, I prefer to trade at least a ratio of 1 to 50 in LP to market cap, or if the narrative is there and the hype is around it, we can go lower to these levels where it's just like, 60 to 100 sort of ratio. Typically, 1 to 10 LP to market cap ratio is healthy, but it's pretty rare on Solana that we get that. People don't like burning their tokens.
Okay, so you don't have any hard and fast rules in terms of a market cap that you wouldn't generally enter under? Or is there normally a range that you would go over? Sometimes you may degen into something that's 500K, but do you like the look of things, say, over 2 million as a market cap with, 5 to 10% or more locked in that liquidity?
Yeah, it's a good question. And it's all about the hype and the narrative and how relatable is it? Are your friends talking about it? If they are, we can push the LP or market cap slightly lower, but typically I don't like to enter things below at least 500K. these days. And even that is low. But on the upper end, I wouldn't enter a token above 300 mil at the moment, because once they pass a $300 million market cap, it means they're fighting with the bigger boys, right?
I mean, there's probably plenty of other content that we need to create for other sections, such as how to recognize the hype, other strategies you use. But for this segment, I think this is really good. Anything else to add on this one?
Be safe. Remember to draw your support lines, draw your resistance lines, and don't ape in your whole bag on one line of support. DCA, 0.2 of your position first, and then 80 on the next line of support. And trade safe. Check LP locks.
Brilliant. Remember, this is not financial advice in any way, but Wake does do this. He does it much better than most of us on Solana. So it might be something you want to consider to learn more and introduce to your trading plan. Thanks, Wake. And for anyone that wants to, you can go and follow him below and watch his Dupe and Juice podcast, which happens weekly. For more alpha on how to trade meme coins, make sure you subscribe and watch the next video in the series.